Hey,
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, and I can hear you.
Well, I'm practically. Are we recording yet? I was going to say, I'm practically giving my microphone to BJ.
Welcome.
Yes, and my volume's up, and I've
Yes,
had
it is.
cereal, and I'm good to go. I
Good.
showered
I'm
even
glad.
today,
Oh, thank God.
right? Let me tell you something. So your hair is looking really.
Well, as I said before, I'm hanging upside down.
You never know it. Are you using mirrors then, or how's this working?
Well, remember my pole dancing days? I just took the pole, put it horizontal in the ceiling, and I just hang upside down from it. So no, it's all good. Or it could be this is my dishwasher snap and go Rula Lenska wig from 1987.
Oh, I see you have Pamela Sue Martin as your.
Yes, so the guys actually had
Yes.
some pretty funny references. So if you want to, I went to text you and ask if you wanted to pull one of those out of your hat.
Oh, and how do I do that?
Don't.
It says add your title, but that my name will still be there. It just says add your titles.
Did you click it? Can you change it?
I guess if I'm in. Okay, I guess. Okay, let me. Oh, now the pressure's on. What am I going to name myself?
You better come up with something good. They were funny.
Well, it's funny you mentioned Rula Lenska because I was going to use that name the other day.
That's a
when we were
good one
practicing.
too.
Okay, I know what I'm going to do.
Okay.
There I am. A lot of vagina.
My
Italian today.
okay, that's one way to look at it.
I'm a lot of something. I don't know. Anyway, how are you today?
Anyway, so everything's good. It's been a beautiful day. Sun finally came out. We took a walk over to get some coffee this morning. It's gorgeous. Everything's good. Been a long week. How about you?
I'm good. Weather-wise, it's a little overcast. You know, it comes and goes. This week, some days have been sunny, some days it's been not, but whatever. It's summer in San Francisco, so I never expect too much.
So enjoy August and September then.
But I do have exciting news. I
Okay.
have booked my flight. I'm going to Germany in December for a week during the
Wow. Oh,
holidays.
wow. Yeah.
A friend and I have talked for years about visiting Europe during the holidays for the Christmas markets. Not that I'm going on a shopping spree, but just the idea of being in Europe during the holidays, whether it's a big city or a small town, they all put on their Christmas markets between Thanksgiving and Christmas. And it's, vendors selling food and selling tchotchkes. And, the plazas are all decorated with trees and lights and there's music and it's just really festive. And so we are going in December to Munich.
You wanted to do this for quite a few years, haven't you?
Yes. In fact, a couple years ago when I did the Danube River Cruise, which is actually the last time I went to Europe, and that was 2018, so that's 7 years ago.
And that was the year you dried up the Rhine River, isn't it?
Well, I didn't dry it up, but I had no part in it. I was just there as a witness. But anyway, that same tour company offers every other year a tour where you go through Germany and Austria, but you're on the boat, on the river, but you're going during the holidays for the Christmas market. So I thought,
Nice.
I like them for this tour, so I might use them again. But then the pandemic hits, and then it was like, and then when they started reoffering them again, like I wasn't quite ready to do that because we were just coming out of the pandemic. And then this opportunity came up, so I'm going to Germany this year, so it'll be fun.
So I have a couple questions, and maybe we can save them for the intro. But do you? And I'll ask you again because I have a joke, and I never have jokes because I can never remember jokes. But I've been listening to audiobooks. So my question is, do you ever listen to audiobooks?
I do not
Okay. Would you consider listening to an audiobook reading a book?
understand.
I know you're not physically reading it, but do you think you get the same thing out of an audiobook that you would reading a book? Do you think you retain as much?
That's an interesting question. I think when you listen to the audio version, whether it's the author reading it or someone else, maybe sometimes the inflection in their voice or something might add a little something to it as opposed to you just sitting there reading the page.
Right.
But since I'm not a big reader to begin with, but then audio, I've heard little clips here and there if someone's talking about it, but I've never from start to finish done that.
Well, the reason why I asked is because I actually remembered this joke. It's a short joke, but also Tina Fey. I'm reading, I forget what it is, Sloppy Hands or Fat Hands or something.
Huh?
And it's the name of her book, but she actually told the joke, and she's like rattling them off, and it's like
her.
I actually remembered that, so I'm actually going to try a couple different versions of it. One I'll try on you, and one I'll try on our guests who are going to join us later. Okay, so I did have 3 other names. I know you came up with Alana, and I came up with Pamela Sue. I also was going to think of Barbara Bel Geddes. Do you remember her?
Yeah, from Dallas.
Do you remember Joan Van Ark?
Right.
Charlene Tilton?
Yeah.
Or no, Pamela Sue Martin. So they had to have 3 names for some reason. Did you have any besides this one? Was there someone else you'd rather choose?
Is that the request? It needs to be 3 names?
No, not at all. I just had those to choose from, and I know you chose a lot today. So, and Rula Lenska would have been good too.
Yeah.
So, well, okay. So I'm going to shut this down, and then we're going to come back in and do an intro and talk about what we're going to talk about.
Okay, but is this part of the?
It depends on whether you said anything funny.
I always say something funny.
Well, do you feel like you said something
Asshole.
funny?
What?
Well, I guess we'll be right back then.
Okay then. Press your luck. Oh, hi.
Press on nails. Hi.
Good morning to you.
Well, good morning to you. And it's a pleasant day, and our hairs are looking fabulous. Our eyeglasses are looking great. Some of our jewelry looking good.
Oh, I'm not wearing any jewelry. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, that's okay. Well,
and we are?
Sorry. Welcome to Don and Gary Doin 60. We are here to unwrap, unpack, and navigate the world at this age. Well done. Very well choreographed. You can find us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram and on Blue Sky. And of course, you can see us and get all of this and all of that, or whichever way my finger's going to point at you, Gary, on YouTube on Pfeiffer Pod, Don and Gary Doin 60. So please join us. Gary, what else can they email us?
Email us at donandgarydoin60@gmail.com. Don't laugh at me. Again, that's donandgarydoin60@gmail.com.
And most importantly, our new website, sponsored by Podpage, is actually a great resource for actually leaving us emails. You can leave voicemails, which I'm going to share with you later. We're going to do a little tutorial, maybe a couple episodes down the line, to show you boomers how it's done, because I have a feeling somehow technology is not wrapping its love around you, and maybe you need a little guidance on how to press subscribe. But anyway, so what's going on? What are you doing?
No, as I mentioned, the Germany trip, that's about me. But in other news,
yes,
did you hear? Earth-shattering, it's the end of an era. The Sex and the City sequel, if you will, and Just Like That, has announced that this 3rd season that they're in now is their final season. No more Carrie Bradshaw and Friends.
I just heard about that, actually. So
yeah, they just announced it yesterday. I watched the original Sex and the City and the 2 movies, but this new reincarnation, the and Just Like That series, is on Max, and I don't have that, so I've never seen an episode. Although YouTube has a lot of clips, so I do see a lot of clips. But then on social media, I read a lot of the comments, and there's the gamut from we love the show, we love the characters, we love where they're, and the vitriol of the people who are hating this show.
There's some haters out there
for various reasons. The 2 main ones are that Samantha's not on this series anymore. It's like, well, that was her choice, and they worked around that. But also in the beginning, it was, oh, look how old they look. It's like, well, they're in their 40s. When you saw the original series, they're in their 30s. Of course, everyone's going to age, and they're embracing it. The characters are, not the audience. A lot of the audience just turned on them. But anyway, so
yeah.
No more.
Well, I just made a comment because somebody I follow, H. Alan Scott, who's on another podcast and actually does some different things in the media, had mentioned that, why do we have to put up with? He's a big lover of Sarah Jessica Parker and the series, and he was commenting on the cancellation of it and said, well, why do we keep going on with horrible shows? And I mentioned in our comments Mid-Century Modern, which was like, I think that's even getting picked up for a 2nd season, and it is horrible. And I'm sure we'll get haters for saying that too, but oh my God, horrible. Can't stand it.
Right.
So, shall I try my joke on you, or did you have another
Oh,
comment?
no, please.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Actually, we're going to start with that. So my
That's okay. Well,
apologies.
actually, real quick. Well, you know what? Maybe we should hold the joke for the guys so I can share it with them. So, what are we doing today? What are we talking about? Who are we talking?
So we have not one guest, but two. Both are gentlemen who we know from high school. They are graduated the year after us. One is in Southern California. One is in Minneapolis.
Yep.
I keep in touch with one of them on Facebook, but I've not seen either one of them in years. So we reached out. We will hear their stories, where they're at, life-wise, career-wise, and anything else wise they want to tell us.
Hopefully they are wise. They're actually very funny.
They're
It was
very
fun
funny.
talking with them. And actually waiting to come in. So we're going to save our joke for my
Sure.
joke for them and ask them the same question. So apparently I'm going to let them both in. Let me just let them both in.
Release the hounds.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage, Joanne Pflug and Fannie Flagg.
Your three names are known to TV, stage, maybe movies. Mine is a character from the Mike Myers movies, where he was the
Austin Powers?
Austin Powers.
That's where I know that.
So I'm Italian today. My name is Alada Vagina.
Yes.
So
And you are.
it's 19
And
Well-
there it is.
I'm a lot of something. But
I used to think you are what you eat, but I'm not so sure anymore.
I've never had a vagina. Oh my goodness, I'm already sweating. We just
So
started.
guys, welcome to the podcast. We're so glad you're here. Actually, Joe Andrews and Kevin Carter are joining us today. We're just going to go by these pseudonyms today for a while because they just work for us, I think, for all of us.
I had a Pamela Sue Martin poster in my, and I finally got rid of it because it was falling apart, but it was up.
Well, I struggled with Barbara Bel Geddes, Joan Van Ark, Charlene Tilton, or Pamela Sue Martin. They all
I
have
think
to
you
have
made the
three
right.
names for me.
I think you made.
I don't
Was
know if
she
they would've-
Nancy Drew? Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Fallon.
And Fallon on
Yes.
Dynasty.
And for the children listening, that was a series many, many years ago before
But
you were all
they
born.
rebooted it,
They did.
Did they?
Yeah.
and I didn't watch it because I'm like, nope.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So before we get into this, we're going to talk about some stuff, but we wanted to share some history with you. But I have a question. I asked Gary before we started too. Now, do any of you listen to audiobooks?
Yes, a lot.
A lot. Okay.
Now that I have a commute, I do a little bit more.
Okay. Do you consider listening to an audiobook
No.
the same as? Well, let me finish the question, guest. No, so you don't. But the reason why I ask is, do you retain as much from reading it as you do from listening to it?
No. I mean, I retain less from listening than I do from reading. There isn't a good sort of streamlined way to say, oh, I read a new book if you've got an audiobook. But I don't think it's the same as reading. And so I always say something like, oh, I read this great book. Well, I listened to it.
Listen.
And I wish there was a better way to do that, but I don't consider them the same. You're using
think
different parts of your brain.
I think it also depends on how you learn because I'm more visual than audio. But my husband is more audio, so he has dyslexia. Audio is the way to go for him, and he can listen to it on 1.5 or 1.75 speed and get it all. But I only do when I do audiobooks, I just do nonfiction, so there's not a plot to follow because I'm doing it as I'm driving. So if I drift off for a second, I just have missed some facts, but not a plot.
So I am
here's-
doing I'm sorry, do you?
No, please.
Okay, so I am my favorite college English professor, and I was an English major. She was a Victorian, so she did, and Edwardian, so she did Jane Austen. It was really the first Jane Austen I had read, which was Persuasion. And then, I read some more, and of course we've all seen, Wonderful Sense and Sensibility, and we've probably seen Pride and Prejudice at least 5 times in some different form. And she is leading an alumni tour, so I'm going with some friends of mine early September to England. And so we start at Windsor Castle, and we then go to Jane Austen's, home where she wrote, and then we go to Bath and spend several days, and we do all of this.
In costume?
I wish we were doing it in costume. I do think there is a place near Jane Austen's home where you can dress up and have photos taken.
There would have to be.
But I was reading for the first time some of Jane Austen's
Ever?
books
I
were
was
like,
reading for the first time.
yeah. Well, and again, when I say reading, I mean audiobooks. So I did Northanger Abbey. Like, who has read that? It's, it was her first. And then I moved on to Sense and Sensibility. And I was doing it chronologically. So the next is Mansfield Park. And the reason I bring this up is I was listening to it on audiobook, and Juliet Stevenson was the narrator, amazing. But I listened to the first chapter 4 times, and I could not get it because there were so many families and relationships and so forth. And I'm like, okay, I need to read this one, or at least read the first few chapters, because it's not the kind of book you can go on a walk and listen to, or listen in the car and be able to get everything. And that's when I realized, yeah, I probably only get about 70% of what I'm listening to in an audiobook. So that's my story. And
That's a good one.
as a follow-up,
long one.
yeah, I'll tell it again at bedtime, but then it's off to bed.
We're only here for about 2 hours, right? Okay, go
Right.
on.
But the first day of that tour is on my 60th birthday, September 4th. So, all bringing it back to the podcast.
So you're not really 60 yet. So why are you here? And who invited
I am
you?
in my 60th year.
All right, fine. So Jane Austen, now was she on The Masked Singer or Dancing with the Stars? I don't remember.
She was
No.
a Drag Race.
Oh, Drag Race, right, as a guest judge. So listen, back to my original, then we'll dive into it. But the reason why I was asking this, because I started listening to audiobooks. I just finished Martin Short's book, which is excellent. He actually narrated that himself.
I will say, like, autobiographies by the person
Yes.
are an exception to that rule.
And
I think.
Steve Martin was just done. He actually had someone interviewing him. Very fascinating. But I'm now listening to, I think it's called Big Hands or Fancy Pants by Tina Fey. And the only reason why I asked this question, I'm sorry for
Bossy
taking part
Pants.
around through this. Bossy Pants, thank you. But I'm horrible with jokes. I can never remember jokes. But she was delivering them one after the other, and I actually remembered when I wanted to try it on you.
Dude,
Yeah.
So it's very fast. It's a very quick one. So it's basically two peanuts were walking down the road. Guess what happened?
What happened?
what? I don't know.
One was assaulted.
Nice.
We have entered the dad joke era of
Yeah.
our lives.
Is that a dad joke? I guess it is. But it's like, that's a funny joke.
That is
Wait, did you have that on a Post-it?
I do have it on a post-it because I wasn't.
I saw a
gonna
flash
remember
of
it.
yellow go by the screen.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
That's one of those jokes that used to be like on Dixie cups.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So anyway, guys, so sorry to make us go through that, but thank you for the stories and everything. So I guess we could just jump in, Gary, if it's okay with you. Maybe we should talk about how we all know each other. Would that be good? You guys can start.
What is the common denominator?
Yes.
High school.
That would be us.
Paragon High School.
Yes.
Right.
Gun high
Johnny and
school.
Gary
We're-
were much, much older. And,
Well, I don't know if much, but
and Joe was
Much.
much year, and I was right in the middle.
Okay.
oh, so you two did not graduate the same year.
No, you were two years or 3 years
Don and
behind
I
me.
are a class of 80,
And I'm 81.
1880.
and you're 81.
Were you 83 or 84, Joe?
83.
Okay.
Okay, so he's much younger than us.
But his sister Kate was in my class and was in
my
choir.
brother
and
Dave was, I guess, in class of 70.
He was a
78?
He was a
79.
senior when I was a freshman.
Okay.
And I have to say, one of the things that prompted me to reach out to the two of you was because, Joe, you had actually posted something about one of the productions 150 years ago that I was in with Dave.
Yep.
Yes, the Fantastics. And it was a horrible picture of me, but a wonderful picture of your brother. Although I can't believe taking. But so what kind of
share
struck
that
me is like, oh gosh, we've got to get these two on. And I didn't know. And the two of you kind of were in cahoots together because you said, I'll do it if he does it, and you said, I'll do it if he does it. So I don't know how we lucked out. We've got the two of you in there. So
very lucky.
So Don, by bringing
That's
up
kind.
the picture of you from years ago, is that your reason for asking Joe on so he can apologize for your
yes,
bad photo?
basically.
It
Never do
was
that
not a
again.
terrible picture. It was.
I'm just kidding.
Cut to the tape. Cut to the tape.
Can we get it on camera 3? Can we got yeah,
What
Jerry?
am I looking at?
Have you got this? You know, I think my first experience seeing you, Donnie, and Kevin, I don't know if you were in this production or not, but in 8th grade, I came up from Burrell with some friends, like Linda Miyahara, and we saw Godspell at Aragon.
I was in there. I was not Jesus like some of us were, but
And
I had a small solo.
I was completely transfixed and went out and got the piano music, and I can still play Turn Back Old Man from memory.
Old man.
Old Man. And then, gosh, was it the next year was Fantastics? Or, no, probably the same
I
year.
think it was the reverse. I don't remember. It was too long ago.
Maybe
I
seventh.
think it was the year
7th grade.
before. I think it was the year before.
So it was
Well, I wasn't
Alan
fishing.
Christ.
I wasn't fishing. Oh God.
That was
Alan
the director.
Christ and then John Reckfertig,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
who I
And
just
now
looked up and
Fannie-
is still around.
Fannie, we're losing you. Just so you know, your shop. There you are. We lost part of your head. We don't want to behead you yet.
Slouching
Angle
down.
in. So anyway, I didn't mean to dredge that up, but I wanted to talk about how we had that common denominator too. But
And
Maybe
Donnie,
you
I will
guys-
say this: Donnie was the person who inspired me in the late '70s to feather my hair.
well, I'm sure the dates are wrong because that couldn't have been me. I wasn't born until 1987. So I'm sure that had nothing to do with your choices in hair fashions.
Cut to the film.
Cut to the video.
I'm pretty sure that every woman/girl on your wall, Joanne, had feathered hair, including Farah, Kate.
But you know, I
Pamela.
couldn't model my hair on them. You know, I needed a male feather model.
Yeah.
Well, there was
Okay.
Sean Cassidy.
And Parker Stevenson.
Lisa
So I
Heisman.
kind of had Parker Stevenson because I had very full hair back then.
Anyway, now that we've gone down that memory lane, maybe we can go back to the podcast.
Well, I don't know.
What podcast?
Because I really didn't get to know you guys. And there I was at the Resource Center. Do you remember the Resource Center?
Yes. With
Yeah.
Mrs. Hickey.
With Mrs. Hickey.
Yeah.
Mrs. Hickey.
That's
And
where we go
going
and
there
hang
in the
out between
morning.
classes. And
And it
wreak
was
havoc.
Lisa Paquette,
Paquette.
Yeah.
Lisa Schmechtley, and Jane Anderson.
Uh-huh.
And you guys, I thought you were all just the best.
Stupid.
I felt
Stop.
like I found my tribe.
Yeah.
And it was very exciting to kind of be welcomed in and to listen to you all banter and be so clever. It was really terrific. Eric
And now it's come full
Scher.
circle.
Eric Scher.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you're pulling all the names out.
Yeah.
And here they are now.
I still
Dancing
feel like
behind us as the Rockette line is all the people you just mentioned. Go to the videotape.
I still regularly see like the whole like Eric Scher, Brian Shu, and all.
Okay, guys, so let's talk about what's going on now. So we're almost all of us, except for Fannie Flagg, are in the same club right now. So maybe you could tell us how life is going, because one of the things we'd like to dive into is seeing how you're doing, seeing how life has progressed. I know you all have a bunch of new interests that are taking place in your lives. You have done some reinvention. So who wants to go first? Not Gary.
Ah, damn it.
I'll talk about my reinvention. That
Yes, please, if you don't
so
mind.
it happened just about a year ago.
Yeah.
I had been working at Paramount Pictures in an office job for like almost 10 years. I got laid off in January of 24. Then I was on the job market and, you know, getting initial interviews, but not a lot of bites. 7 months rolled around, or well, like maybe like 5 or 6, and I started being like, maybe. I asked the good old question, like, if money weren't an issue, what would you do? And I had, after college, I had taught music, directed and taught a class at San Mateo High School where we grew up, and I really, really loved doing that. And I'd done some of that here and there after I moved to New York and stuff, but I hadn't done it for decades. And so I was like, you know what, let me just put some feelers out. And I put a thing on Facebook, I think, you know, if anybody, I'm looking into doing this, if anybody has any connections. And lots of people reached out, a lot of people that I knew from the past but didn't know that they were now drama teachers or somehow involved in education. And everybody was like super helpful. And then I think it was like in July, after college I lived in the Haight, and we had long story, but we had this group of like high school kids from the East Bay that would come and hang out with us on the weekends.
Okay.
And one of One of them now is a tech theater teacher over in the East Bay. And he's like, well, the drama teacher moved down to LA a couple of years ago, and I think he's looking for a music director, so he connected us.
Wow.
And we talked and we met for coffee, and he offered me a job. And I'm like, well, that's like 2 periods, 4 days a week. So that's does not pay the mortgage. So it was earlier in the summer, so I still had time. And then I talked to someone who had been in some readings of a musical I'd written in New York, and he was out here now. And I didn't realize, but he was teaching theater at USC. And so he was talking to me, and he's like, hey, do you know California School of the Arts? And I was like, it rings a tiny bell. And so he was like, I know someone there. And so he connected us an email. I reached, that person connected me to the head of the theater department. I talked to him the next day. He offered me a class to teach, and I was like, that's great, but I have a mortgage. And he's like, hold on. And so he offered also accompanying to audition classes and the possibility of other things throughout the year, and that they would pay to get credited, not like regular teacher credential, but it's called CTE, which is Career Technical Education. So I'm almost done, and I can teach in arts, entertainment, and media. So it's not like I couldn't go and be a sub at a school, but I can teach in that area. Wow. And so I started last fall.
Wow.
And it was, because the last time I had taught, I was not much older than the high school kids, and now I'm a little bit older than the high school kids, even though I think that sometimes people might mistake me for a senior walking through campus.
But let me ask you a quick question, Kevin. So while you were going on the journey towards getting this new job that you just started, did you feel or experience or felt that you had any forms of ageism towards you when you were filling out applications, having your interviews? Do you feel like you were dismissed, or were you even considered for jobs? Because I know they ask for ages or college degrees or college dates or high school dates.
Well, first, you don't have to put your education dates. I think you can put it down if it was like in the last 5 years, but otherwise you don't have to put that down, and they can't ask your age. But I appear on the Zoom video looking like this and not like a 20-year-old. And it was, my day job experience for decades was admin, executive assistant stuff. So I'm sure there was a lot of like, why is this old guy still an admin? What's wrong? But there were enough people that got it. And also, when I got dismissed at Paramount, there had been a shuffling around, and I was in a new group, and everybody was maybe older 20s, younger 30s, and my manager was probably mid 30s. And the first time having like a manager who was nowhere near my age. So that, I think that factored in there, and I talked to a lawyer when I got let go about like, and there was nothing overt, but nothing outright in the job search, but I definitely felt aware of my age and the kind of jobs I was applying for, whereas as a drama teacher, having like a white beard is a plus.
Yeah.
You're like, he knows what's going on.
Experience.
It's the Hal Prince white beard.
Right? It is actually. Good call. Do you feel, Kevin, that this is the job you've always wanted?
Yeah, like my husband Shay came to see, there's a show at each high school in the spring, and there's a day that he could go see both of them. And he's like, I always knew this was the right thing for you, but like actually seeing you in the environment and seeing you with the kids and seeing the kids around you, he goes, I totally get it now. We all know theater kids, high school theater kids, and it also makes me feel a hell of a lot younger hanging around them and being accepted in, because I thought, I'm so much older now, it's going to be a different vibe, but it's not really that different. And I'm like, my picture appeared twice during the school year on my class's group chat, and they were like, Mr. Carter, that's 2 times more than any other teacher at this school. And so I felt very good about that. And like the last day of school at one school, like I had a literal line of kids waiting to take their picture with me.
Oh.
And at the other school, I would have, like the last week, I would have like a stack of yearbooks next to me waiting for me to sign them. I'm like, I hardly ever ask teachers. I only ask the really cool teachers in high school.
But you're bringing your experience as a theater kid yourself to all the things that and what's the age group that you're teaching?
High school.
High school. Okay, so you definitely can relate to that and bring all of your own experience.
And I get
angst
drawn in on
everything.
like the drama and the boyfriends and the girlfriends and crushes, which makes me feel happy.
Okay.
That says a lot about you too. I mean, you probably give off a vibe of, you know, your passion and your love for the subject matter.
Yeah.
And so they kind of take that in.
Yeah, so I'm excited to go back. I start back on Monday, but the kids are the following week or 2 weeks. And I'm excited because I remember when I started last year, the first day, like seeing all the kids coming up to the teachers and like hugging them and talking about their summers and stuff. I'm like, oh, this is really nice. And I'm like, someday that will be me, because they're all looking at me like, oh, who's the new? There's another teacher that looks very much like this. So they were like, oh, we thought you were Mr. Gilmore, because you know, another balding white-haired white guy. So much so that on Halloween we went dressed as each other to school.
It's interesting. Adversity kind of threw you into, and fate, I guess, put you into a role that you truly are, I'm assuming, loving right now too, right?
Yeah, and the only downside at the moment is that they are both part-time gigs. So even though they pay more per hour, I have like half the hours. So I'm struggling. I'm dipping into my savings a lot, but hopefully, I will. After this year, I will be able to get something full-time with benefits and stuff. And
you never know, that could turn into a community theater director. There's all kinds of things now that are opening up a door for you with these creds that you're building. Right?
Because, and just to have credits that are from this century. And also references from this century, because my one reference really from San Mateo High, if we all remember Roy Cass-Stevens
dubious,
who ended up in jail. We won't go into the reasons, but
so maybe not.
I can't.
That would be a good credential.
I couldn't use him as a reference, so that was like all of my high school work was with the person that I can't use as a reference.
Well, congratulations on that, though.
That's
wonderful.
Great, Kevin.
Yeah. It's...
Okay, Joe, you're up. Tell us what's been going on with you. Now, you had mentioned, and I'll let you share that with us. But what's your current sitch? What's going on?
Well, I'm gonna take a step back in time, if that's okay. So my career started, it was one of those serendipitous things where I graduated from college. I moved back to San Mateo.
What was your major?
English, with a lot of music. And then I just had no idea what to do. And so I moved back home thinking it would be like it was in high school. And of course there was no one there, and it wasn't the same. In fact, it was sort of sad that there was no one there. And I thought, why did I move back here to this place that's so expensive when all of my college buddies are in uptown Minneapolis, that's where Prince was happening and Janet Jackson was doing her thing. And so I moved back here, and I was a Kelly girl. Does that mean anything to you?
To some people, to some boomers, I'm sure they remember what that reference is.
Yeah,
Were
so
you
now
literally a Kelly girl? Like you worked for that company, or
yes,
that's that? Oh, okay.
It was Kelly Services, and they landed me in marketing as an executive assistant at Pillsbury, and I was there, like 3 days, and everyone I was reporting to, all these marketing folks who did, Hungry Jack biscuits and toaster strudel and Hungry Jack potatoes and all those good things. They're like, oh, you can write? And you're willing to stay late? And, I'm a total people pleaser. So I was just like, yeah, give me the overtime. I'm happy to be here. And then I started working weekends because they were busy and needed help putting presentations together. And it just went really well. And that turned into a job in PR for Pillsbury, which turned into a job for promotions where, you're doing tie-ins with Disney and all these sorts of things. And then that turned into integrated marketing just as the internet was becoming a thing. Everything it was just miraculously wonderful. And then a new vice president came in, and it was just awful. And so I left, but not until I had become just really anxious. And I thought, I'll just take a month off and then I'll go do this other job. Well, within the first week of that sort of month that I thought would be super fun, I started having anxiety attacks, which I'd never experienced before. And so I thought I was going crazy. It was really bad. And so, my dear mother, she's like, you must come home. You must come to my bosom. And she at the time was living in Canada, taking care of her mother. We have a farm up there. And so I went there and anyway, I convalesced.
So you went up to the farm in Canada?
Yeah.
Wow.
And, and then there was all sorts of coming out again, for the second time, and because I was engaged to a woman, and so I
this
had.
This is good stuff. Now I'm listening. Go ahead.
Right. Yeah. So I was really out in high school, but then when I went out to the Midwest, even though it was a very liberal arts college, I just couldn't sort of find my footing. I met a woman who was fantastic, and we just really gelled. And I thought, well, I think I can make this work. And we got engaged, and we both graduated, and we had the invitations printed. And that's when I just sort of fell to pieces. And I'm like, I can't do this. And so that was super rough. And so it's sort of all through this period. She's great. She's who I'm going on the Jane Austen tour. She's my roommate.
Oh.
Great.
That's great then.
It has a very happy ending. We are very close.
It's like a massage happy ending.
She was very close to you yesterday, Kevin, because she was at the Jesus Christ Superstar with her daughter.
Some friends went and said it was like one of the most amazing theatrical experiences they've ever had.
She said that they were pretty much in tears the whole time. It was just extraordinary.
Wow.
Anyway, so this is sort of very condensed, but what I learned sort of starting at age 19, 20 through sort of 25 was that I have a propensity towards anxiety, which sort of gets really great, and then I plop into a depression. And, 35 years, 35 years ago, I just feel like I didn't know how to say those words out loud. Or to even sort of understand what was going on. So I was really quite nervous when I had the opportunity to retire, because I thought, this is going to happen again, where if I'm not so busy throughout the day that I have trouble finding time to go to the bathroom, which is how work was for the last 16 years. What am I going to do? Am I going to fall apart? And so I fully intended upon leaving my last position was to just go right back to work. And what I found was it was wonderful.
It was what you needed.
Yeah.
What was wonderful?
Not having to come to work in the morning, or actually roll over in bed, turn on your phone, and see, I've got 20 emails, because it was a global business, right? So, you're getting emails from everybody's workday, and when yours hasn't even begun. And I was in a position where I was the vice president of global brand strategy, so kind of needed to help all of the divisions around the world. It was just a great job, as is, I think, so often the case. It was a great job until it wasn't. And then you hang on and you stay there for another couple of years, and that just wears away at you. So
it's like so many things, you kind of normalize the stress and anxiety of work, and you're like, this is normal. You don't realize that it doesn't have to be like that till it's gone. You're like,
right. Or that the old saw about the frog in the cold water.
Yeah. But
it's set to boil, and it's happening so gradually the frog doesn't notice until it's dead. And I putter. I take the dogs on walks. I garden.
When did you
I direct
officially
shows.
retire?
About 5 years ago.
Wow. Nice.
And so, and then you go through those feelings of, can I do this? And then, I talk to my husband, and he's still working, and you get feelings of, guilt, and you have to sort through those. And there's a lot of talking, like, is it okay that I'm doing this? And would you prefer that I put more money in the nest egg? And you have to do a lot of talking to get through
Can I
all
ask,
those emotions.
Because you were at these companies for a long time, you have a nice nest egg or a pension?
Yeah. So
retirement or whatever.
I was very fortunate at my last job that I sort of 6 months after I got there, they changed the whole pension plan. But I entered just at the right time to have what's called a defined benefit, a defined pension plan. So the longer you stay there, the more money you get. Not just, your 401k, that's a separate thing. You actually have this other nice pot of money that just keeps growing for your years of service. And that's, what the big companies used to do. And I just don't think they do that anymore. So that was very fortunate.
Paramount, only people that had been there 30 plus years or something had a pension. Anybody that started later than 30 years ago.
Right. It is a thing of the past. The pensions are not in anyone's golden parachute anymore, unless you're with IBM or some large
or a CEO of the company or something.
Right. So was it the idea of, because it sounded like a number of things you mentioned, Joe, were that uncertainty caused anxiety, and not having structure perhaps was anxiety?
Right.
I don't know.
Exactly. No, that's exactly it. The analogy I think of is I was like a violin string that had been wound really taut and more taut and more taut until it broke. That's what it was like when I left that first job and had those anxiety attacks. In this case, I learned from that experience and sort of prepared myself for that so that I decompressed more slowly and sort of knew some of the likely things that would happen if I didn't have sort of anything on the docket. So, there were things going on. One of the things that really helped was starting about 13 years ago, my husband and I started doing triathlons.
Oh.
And neither of us could swim other than,
That's
right. I mean, we could swim we grew up in California, and you could swim to one end of the pool and the other, and blah blah blah.
As long as your hair didn't get wet,
and you'd float most of the time.
But to swim continuously, I could do, maybe 3 laps, and then I was just exhausted, which is kind of standard if you don't actually know how to swim. So we both, took swimming lessons.
Whose idea was it? Who had to been one of you?
Well, I think I suggested we get together during the holidays. We fly out to Kate's place, my sister. I don't know, did you guys know Kate? Katie?
She was my year.
Yeah, so I know Kevin.
She was in choir. Your sister is one of the 2 women I have ever gone out on a date with.
What?
We went to
Go
see
to the videotape.
We went to see Jaws 2.
Ooh, yikes.
You didn't know that, Joe.
I did
Should
not.
we stop the recording right now?
Oh no, I had a total. Well, I also had a crush on your brother too, but I didn't go out with him.
That's interesting information. No,
don't worry, nothing happened.
I can't remember how we got here.
Man. So wait, triathlete. So question, real quick one.
Oh,
Joe,
you got it. Oh.
So before you start, triathlete is swimming, running, and cycling, correct?
Right.
And I want to ask you, you didn't do this because of the unitard opportunities for photo ops, did you?
That was a total bonus.
Okay, good.
Do you have to wear a unitard?
I do a flesh-colored unitard.
Of course you do.
Right.
With anatomical painting on it.
No, but I was, 1565. I was 80 pounds heavier.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'd gotten to be a big boy. And so I suggested to my brother-in-law, Kate's husband, and Scott, I said, at Thanksgiving this year, and we were going to all come together as a family in Park City and rent a big house and all be there together with the nephews and nieces and so forth. Let's do a mini triathlon. Because we had access to all the right stuff to make that happen. And we called it the Fat Man Triathlon. And we've been doing it every year since then, over the holidays. We have T-shirts now.
Does the whole family take part?
The young and the old all take part.
Wow.
And the T-shirts have, and I forget the exact Latin phrase, but It's a Latin phrase that translates to angels weep when they see us run.
That's awesome.
So anyway, we're doing this, and I didn't think to take swimming lessons, but Scott said, "Oh, I can't swim, so I have to take swimming lessons." And he tried to do like the think method, where he was reading a book on how to swim. And after a while, he's like, "I can only get so far with this before I'm going to have to get in a pool." So there was a new guy at the gym named Lance Leo.
Porn name.
A total porn name. Leo and Lance. I don't know if you remember that
Also
one.
on
Yes.
Porn.
Oh my God. Totally. Aw.
And
Let's show the tape.
Roll the tape.
so he came home one day and said, "So, I've been taking these swimming lessons, and they're super expensive." And I mentioned that to my swim instructor, who I think is great. And the swim instructor said, "Well, you should just join the triathlon team because you'll get a swimming lesson baked into it, plus all the other stuff." And so he said, I'm joining the triathlon team." And I'm like, well, then I am. I'm going to join.
Is that intimidating though? Because I'm assuming everyone has a different level of experience and with triathlons, right? So you're coming in there fresh off the boat, right?
Yep. And yes, everything about it was intimidating. Everything. Because
And they accept, like, you didn't have to, like, audition. Like, they took whoever was interested.
Right.
Or
right.
did you have to do a monologue?
Every modern major general, you could do a little Gilbert and Sullivan for them.
And it was intimidating. And then you get to know the folks, and you're like, I was just terrible. But I also knew the guy, Lance Leo, turned into a real friend to us. We just went over to his house a month ago for his kid's graduation from high school. We're still buddies, and he was an Iron Man and was just fit as could be, but also like one of the nicest people. And so we would go from a spin class, like direct into a spin class directly onto the treadmills, and I'm like, I can't do this. And he's like, "Oh yeah, you can." "I can't run." And he's like, "Yeah, you'll just walk." I'm like, "That's okay? Yeah, just walk." And so it just, over time, you just get better and better at stuff. And, I just had a few major ahas about swimming. And then suddenly I went from not being able to do, 2 laps to being able to swim. There was no limit because it became, if you learn how to do endurance swimming, it's like walking. You figure out, like, I don't know how to put it, but it just
pace yourself?
Okay, so but how
Yeah,
many
it's
weeks
just
and
totally
months did you
pacing.
train- But all those weeks, how many weeks and months did you train to finally participate in one?
We probably trained for 6 months before our first real triathlon in open water. So, speaking of Jaws, we begged my dad to take the kids to go see Jaws, not number 2, but the first one. And so I would have been like 6th grade, and it had an enduring sort of primal effect on me.
Yeah.
I couldn't be in a swimming pool at night without lights. I would never. The idea of swimming in open water was terrifying to me. Like,
Sure.
it was my greatest fear. And so I had to start doing these lake swims, and I could only do it if I was with a whole bunch of other people.
There's no sharks in lakes.
Well, the thing about irrational
Swimming pool
fears,
either.
Eels, they have eels in lakes.
the irrational fears are irrational,
Irrational.
right? So the way I was able to get through it was being around a lot of other people, and then I'm like, I have to have something going on in my head that will that I can do for a long period of time that will get me out of my fear. And the only thing I could come up with was the original Broadway recording of Evita, which I can do from beginning to end, including dance breaks,
London or original cast recording?
Original Broadway. So Patti LuPone.
Yes, that's the only one that exists or needs to.
And so I went from doing like little minor swims out in the lake with friends to a sprint triathlon, which is about a quarter mile, to an Olympic length, which is about a mile, and then finally to a half Ironman, which is 1.2 miles. And those first few ones were all about a vida. So my tempo would totally shift from what's new Buenos Aires to another suitcase in another hall, right?
Right.
So, my pace was just all over the board. But so we're asking about sort of other things that motivate us. I am now what's called the mayor of Tri-Town, so I'm the manager of our team. So I...
Of the entire triathlete team locally.
Right.
Right? Wow, okay.
And so now I figure out what rides we'll be doing over the weekends and when we'll start and where we'll start. We have a book club as a part of that, so I'm in charge of that and where our runs will be.
Evita list.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a little quick question about that, Joe, because it sounds like you've also created community, or your tribe, you're talking about that, because this one group has actually opened up to a book club, which might not all include people from the triathlete group too, or is it other people part of that?
Well, it's interesting because it originally started as a tri-team, and then other people would say, I don't really want to do triathlons, but I love biking. Can I go on your Saturday bike rides? And so it sort of grew. And then there were some people who were spouses who I don't want to do any of that, but I love the idea. I love all of you. Can I come to your barbecues? Or I love book clubs. Can we do that? The more the merrier.
I have to hand it to you because one of the things we have talked about, Gary, in the past is when we've had the same thing when I moved away from San Francisco, Gary stayed there. We had a tribe at one point, but what you've created is a really great catalyst for people to become involved in what they like to do. But sometimes what we hear many times from people and what I've observed in the last few years is there is a lot more isolation with people who are older, not our age, but going into this age group, they find themselves not a part of something and looking for community. So that sounds like a perfect catalyst for people to become involved with something as much as they want to.
What's the age makeup of these, of the tri-team and the book club?
Let's see, our youngest folks are in their 30s, and we have a guy who's 72.
My age and Gary's age.
And every so often, well, I'm sure we're eventually going to have some 20-year-olds. They kind of come in and come out, and that's all. It's all good. And to your point, Donnie, and this is sort of like what you were saying, Kevin, is when you feel like the kids accept you, and all of those. We have a couple who he's an incredible triathlete. She's very good in her own right. They're married. They have 3 kids. They moved here from one of the Dakotas. I can't remember which. And they heard about us. I reached out to them. They joined for, I think, a book club. And then suddenly they were involved. And he took me aside and said, we finally feel like we found our people. We've been here for over a year. And it's been hard to, find friends with common interests. That's very,
Yeah, you helped facilitate that.
Yeah.
Gratifying, but also you are providing an amazing service for so many people are looking for exactly what you're talking about and what you've created. Because again, I'll mention that so many times in different communities, I find that there's a lot of people feeling like they have no community. They don't know where to find it. Everyone says, oh, just join this, join that, but it's not as easy as it sounds to do that.
I think that keeps you young and active too, as opposed to just sitting.
I have an idea for you.
Okay.
Your idea should be to take this model that you've created and show other people how to do it. There's a business for you right there, sir.
Ambassador.
You're welcome. I only take a small fee for that, but you go run with that. But I think it's very gratifying, Joe. I think you're doing something really wonderful. And I mean, you're as you said, you took over the leadership of this group, right?
I did. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
So I'm not a coach, so I can't, I can help people in terms of understanding what to expect at a triathlon, and I can sort of, put all of these events together.
You're playing to your strengths.
Yeah, but I'm not going to be the person who's going to talk about, appropriate tempo pace for a 5K or, what have you.
Well, all that's amazing, and congratulations to both of you. Gary, what about you? Do you have a couple questions for us? Because I know you do.
Well,
And
I
speak
wanted
up.
to let everyone speak up. I wanted to go back to Kevin because normally, as we get into our 60s, we start talking about retiring. But you went back to a career that you had before that you really enjoyed. So my question to you is, you said you did it when you were younger and then you had some other jobs, and after the Paramount is when you rediscovered, if you will, teaching. Why didn't you teach before? I mean, it sounds like you're very passionate about it. Was there something that may prevent you from not doing it before?
So after high school, I went to San Francisco State and lived in San Francisco. So that was about like 10 years. And then I moved to New York for 23 years. And I was acting and doing summer stock and stuff. And I had day jobs to support me in between, like in offices.
Sure.
Kind of like Joe. But I just kind of kept it as a day job. So I never like rose because I didn't want to be an investment banker. Anyway, so during that time, I was doing the performing thing. And I had some like teaching things and coaching things on the side, but I had that outlet, so I wasn't just doing like the office job. And then when I got to LA in 2014, any of my theater teaching kind of contacts were all in New York, so I didn't have any connections. I ended up pretty quickly at Paramount Pictures, which was very cool, even though I didn't know what I wanted to do there, but I was there. And so I'm like, you know what, not everybody gets to work at a major motion picture studio. So I was trying to see what I could do in film. I took a bunch of classes at UCLA, and I was meeting everybody all in different departments all over the lot, trying to get into marketing or production and all this kind of stuff. I was like, you know what, I'm here. Let's try to make something out of this. And then over time, it was kind of like I started realizing that at my age and my experience and what I was willing to take as a salary, like everybody wants the creative jobs in the studios.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a million of 20-year-olds that are willing to like work for 30K a year and that have like done their time like at an agency or something, because that's what they like to have, because then you know all the names. And so I didn't have either that experience at agency, and I wasn't going to take like a drastic cut in pay. And so that really kind of brought reality in to be like, okay, I wish I'd taken more any film classes in college. But so that's why like I didn't do the teaching thing, because I was kind of happy in what I was doing, both day job and creative career. And so I think it took like, everything was great at Paramount till like this last switch of roles, and then I was just miserable. And so I wasn't happy what I was doing. Then I got laid off, and I'm like, you know, why am I continuing to look for these same kind of jobs that, you know, they pay decent, they don't pay like crazy, but it's near what I want to do, but it isn't what I want to do. Like, I was happy to say I worked at Paramount, but what I was doing there was not, I could have given a shit. So I think that's what started getting the wheels spinning. Like, what do you really want to do? Stop pretending you're going to have a career in film. Because that was something I've never even been on a film set. So it kind of like took me like not feeling fulfilled in what I was doing for really the first time in a while, to be like, what do you really want to do?
I think
So
for a
you're
lot of
feeling
us,
fulfilled now, right?
I am. Yeah, like this is where I'm supposed to be. I just
And
need
Joe, you're feeling quite fulfilled also, correct?
I am. I occasionally have moments where I'm like, I should be teaching. Just like you, Kevin. I think. And I went and I have my substitute teacher license, which in Minnesota, basically, if you're breathing and haven't committed a felony,
recently.
a college degree, you can be a substitute teacher. But I really haven't done anything with that. When any of my buddies who teach at the high school level say, hey, I need somebody to come in and teach the vocal parts to the kids for, you know, a day because our person's out, would you be willing? I always say yes. And Kevin, like you, I'm a pianist, and so that really comes in incredibly handy. And so I do feel like that would be great. So when I'm directing Gilbert and Sullivan's, I do feel very much like everything has led to this. Like, I directed in college a couple of shows, and I was like, wow, I am so ill-suited for this, because I was an actor who was put into a director position. I just didn't have the life experience or the experience. to be doing it, and I felt like, okay, I know I don't want to do that. But then, 20 years later, I have really firm convictions about how Gilbert and Sullivan should be done. And the other thing is I've discovered that I'm a really good rewriter. So, for instance, you can't really do the Mikado anymore because of cultural appropriation and all of that. So we did a version of it reset in Scotland, where it was the Mick MC, Mick Otto. And so that needed to be rewritten. And, you have to do it with just the right sensibilities or you really screw it up. And, you want Gilbert and Sullivan enthusiasts and even, those who are purists to come in and say, you captured the elements of Gilbert and Sullivan, felt Gilbertian. That's what you want to hear. You don't want it to be jarring, and you don't want it to sort of undercut all the cleverness of it all, And so
if you're not changing the lyric, you're not going to do that, correct? You're not really changing the body of work. You're changing the situation.
Yeah, did you change the lyrics or just?
We did change lyrics.
Oh, you did.
And we did change the libretto, so we changed the lines. Again, that's where it gets really dicey.
With purists.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I went to the Guthrie is our sort of big, repertory theater here in the city, and I went to see HMS Pinafore? Yeah, HMS Pinafore. And they billed it as Gilbert and Sullivan's HMS Pinafore. And so I came in expecting that. And they rewrote the music along with, things became sambas and there were, tangos and it was very off-putting because you bill it as one thing and then you provide another. It was very hard for me to even know. If I'd known it was going to be different, you come in with those expectations. But it was...
There's that new Pirates on Broadway.
That's another
Set in New
example where
Orleans.
they interpolate in other numbers from other Gilbert and Sullivans. They've changed... Well, they've moved it to New Orleans, but they've also marketed it in a way that let you know that it's not a conventional Pirates of Penzance.
It's not the Rex
And
Smith
that's
version.
happening quite a bit. So let me ask you both, what do you think about the Pussycat Doll doing Sunset Boulevard?
I will say, when I first heard about it,
Yeah.
because I've always loved her voice, but my first thought was like, she is too young. And then I looked and I was like, oh no, she's like mid-40s
She's the right age.
now.
That's about
And
what Gloria Swanson
Gloria
was.
Swanson was. So I was like, but she's still like, she doesn't, she's not known for her acting, so it's not like she's like this grand dame of like Betty Buckley and Patti LuPone and all the people that did it. And I'm like, I know she can sing it. And then I started seeing clips of her singing it. I'm like, okay. And then I saw her on the Tonys. I'm like, oh, okay.
That's where she won me over, was on the Tonys, where I
Do you
just
feel
thought,
like she's
holy
bringing in
smokes.
a younger audience too?
Probably.
Do you think that's what's happening?
sure.
Do you think that's might be what's happening with Gilbert and Sullivan too, being restaged or I don't want to say reinvented, but also altered? So sorry, that would bring newer audiences in that wouldn't traditionally go to see
I
Gilbert
think-
and Sullivan.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's all great. Again, it's just sort of going back to Hal Prince. Do you guys listen to satellite radio on Broadway? The guy,
Seth
Seth
Rudetsky?
Rudetsky, he interviewed Hal Prince, 8 years ago, and asked him, what do you think you bring that is critical to what you do? And he said, taste, the ability to know good from bad and to be able to make decisions. And so I do think there are examples of just really bad rethinking of certain pieces. It happens a lot in opera, again, and I think it's sort of trying to make it interesting and palatable to a new audience. But and Jamie Lloyd, who did the rethinking of Sunset Boulevard and is responsible
Evita,
for the Evita that's going on, which I get to see in a month.
Oh, nice.
There are some really funny clips of Jamie Lloyd's send-ups.
Yes.
Have you seen these? Where,
I saw
you see the curtain
Music
call.
Man.
I saw the curtain call for The Sound of Music. Sound of Music and see all the kids, and they've just taken their bow, and then out comes a man in a diaper covered in blood for the final bow. And it's like Jamie Lloyd's The Sound of Music, where it's just making fun of his, his reinterpretations of musicals. And he's done the they did the Music Man and
Like they've killed Mary
Bye Bye
Shelley or
Birdie, just, sort of all these fun, frothy musicals. And the man in the diaper covered in blood comes out for his bow. Anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Okay, so we've gone down a theater rabbit hole, which is fine, but let's go to some old people questions, shall we?
Sure.
Yeah.
A lot of people would say talking about theater is old people.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do some quick fun ones then.
No, we can talk old people.
What is your go-to karaoke song? Either one of you, both of you.
I'm so scared of karaoke
Me
being
too.
in the wrong key that
What?
that it's going to be in the wrong key and it's going to be too high and I won't be able to sing it.
Okay.
But I will say, during college, my friend this was even before karaoke was really a thing, but we just called it his music machine, and we would have parties at his house. And Kirk Livingston and I, was a friend from college, we often did, because people would bring costumes, and then people were bringing their agents, it got very crazy. But we often did Close to You by the Carpenters.
Really?
But I was Karen, and I had the long wig, and it was staged at her deathbed. So I'm like, I'm laying down on a table, and he's trying to get me to eat a sandwich, and I'm like, no, and then I die partway through, but I keep coming back to life to do the, So we'll say that one.
Brilliant.
We'll say that one.
That sounds
Okay.
amazing. Joe, how about you?
I have a fear of karaoke because I don't have a pop voice. I sang opera and light opera for so long that it's one of those, it's like, oh, he's not a crossover star. And so,
Don't they have Gilbert and Sullivan karaoke tracks?
strangely, no one clamors for that. But so I have to just kind of go with big voice stuff like New York, New York, or something along those lines.
Okay. Next question. Have you in any way become your mother or father, your parents? Do you see that?
My dad was always very thrifty, not in a cheap way, but just always very mindful of expenses. So I inherited that, I think.
You don't find yourself looking at the neighbors saying, "I wonder what they're doing. Why are their curtains always closed?"
But my parents weren't that.
Okay.
Joe with the scarf is a parent.
Joe, where are we going?
Oh, you
You're
noticed?
always cold.
We all noticed.
I have a prop. I started knitting, which my mom was a crocheter, and I've started knitting, and I find it's phenomenal for my
Anxiety.
mental health. Yeah. It's great when I am in social situations.
Do you do it while you're doing something else, or you just...
I've
will
gotten
knit?
so good at it, I can do it while other things are going on.
Can you do it while you're in a triathlon?
I haven't mastered that yet, but
well,
that's a
then I
good
guess
one.
There's something else you can do, isn't
Life
there?
goals.
But it's great for social anxiety, like if you're, like we're going up to the lake with a bunch of friends who I adore, but I have trouble with sort of unstructured downtime. But if I'm sitting there making something beautiful, and you're using your
It's not
left brain
unstructured.
and your right brain because you're using both hands, and it's just great. Holidays with the family, it's a wonderful way to not sort of engage when you become, the third child, the baby, and because of family dynamics and so forth. If you're knitting,
You're like, I'm here.
you don't have, you're present, you're not on your phone,
That's right.
and you can sort of engage as you need to, and still, it's just been really helpful for me.
So since you mentioned props, and before that we talked about music, I'm going to take a slight turn. I wish I had this prop right now, but I looked for it, I couldn't find it. So I'll start with a trivia question. Who among us has released an album of music?
Really?
I own that album,
And
and I don't know what the hell I did with it.
Is it the
Let me see.
Flips?
Do you have it
'cause
handy?
yeah,
The Flips.
I've got that pink thing is the frame. What? Let me.
Oh, yeah,
see
I
if
see
can
it.
Make this happen. Hold on, so you can
I
see the
do
album.
recall this.
Do you remember? He was part of a group. I believe it was
Yes, I
four
do.
singers.
Yeah, 4 of us. Let me see if I can
4 of
get
them? and they were called The Flips, and they put out an album, and I bought it, and I thought I had it, but I don't have many LPs anymore, and it wasn't in there. Oh, we're going on a
I'm
field
trying
trip.
We are running around.
Oh, no, that's not. No, you can't. No, I know where I can get it. Hold on. Talk amongst yourselves.
Okay.
Ms.
This is the
Pflug?
musical interlude now.
I'm sorry, Miss Pflug. You can't. Oh dear.
You can't just, she just walks off set.
She's just having a little touch-up on her makeup.
This is what we'll...
So while we're waiting, there's a question I was going to ask
Dun, dun, dun.
Joe.
Dun, dun, dun,
Miss
dun,
Fannie
dun,
Well,
dun.
related.
There it is. The Flips. Right.
Wow.
Was that the only album you guys put out?
Yes, because
Okay.
then we broke up.
I was in a movie.
How long ago was that?
What
You were
movie?
in a movie?
Yes, just Drop Dead Fred. Anyone
Yeah.
with Phoebe Cates?
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
What did you do?
There
Were
was
you Fred?
no. That would have been great. I was in the food fight scene. I was the pianist. Yeah, in the
Dig that up.
there was a quintet. We were playing some Schubert in the background, and all hell breaks out, and food gets thrown, and so forth. So yeah, well, that was my brief moment of fame.
So Don, you'll have to find that movie clip
We
for
will.
the promo.
Yes. And what
Drop
about you, Gary?
Dead
Have you been in
Fred.
any movies or anything?
Well, none that I can speak of right now.
You mean your OnlyFans is not a movie?
Well, we were in high school. I was never one on stage. I was one of the stagehands. But no, that I recall, I've been on, interviewed for local TV news many
Yes, you
times
are,
because of
quite
my
the
volunteer work. One of them was very funny. We were out at Chrissy Field. I volunteered for the fire department, and we're having an exercise out there. And I'm doing whatever, and someone said, "Does anyone speak Spanish?" And I raised my hand. She goes, "Okay, go talk to the reporter. You're going to go on the news." Like, what? So, yeah. But, yeah, I've been interviewed several times for local news.
That's
for my volunteer work.
great.
I will be on stage tomorrow at Golden Gate Park Band Shell talking about our volunteer work. The Golden Gate Park Band, they play every Sunday for free for April to October-ish. And one concert a year they dedicate to honor volunteers.
Oh, cool.
And so I've been going for 10 years, and I go up there and speak to the group. So that's where I'll be tomorrow. So that's the closest I've gotten.
Do you do so bilingually or all in?
In that case, no, just in English.
Okay.
No interpretive dance?
Not
Dance is a
yet.
language.
Don't give me any ideas because I have till tomorrow. But anyways, enough about me. My question to Joe, since you're about to turn 60, and by the way, your birthday is 1 week before mine.
Oh, is that right?
I'm on the 10th. So one question we ask guests is, has age for either of you ever been an issue? Because as you turn, some people for turning 40, turning 30, whatever some age maybe have an issue with. Has it ever been an issue for you, or do you have an anxiety as you approach 60?
No, I don't. The only time I have anxiety is when I have those moments of realization, like we were talking, Kevin, all of us, the other day about realizing. How did you put it?
Because you were saying the 70s was back, and I'm like, kids today thinking about the 70s would be like us in high school thinking about the 20s.
Yeah.
things like that.
Where I'm like, oh. But I don't have any anxiety about it, except it shows up in dreams, where I will be in college and be doing a show, and somewhere sort of halfway through the rehearsal process or whatever, I suddenly start doing the math and realizing I'm not the same age as the people around me, and I get really distressed. But I don't have any distress in my regular life about it. I'm caring for a relative, a cousin of mine, who had a brain tumor removed and is no longer sort of mentally fully functional, and helped her helped her bury her husband, helped her move into a senior community, and then helped her move into assisted living. So I've sort of done all of those things over the last 5 years, which has, now my husband and I are like, okay, we know how that works now. We need to make sure that we learn from all of that, because there were lots of things.
Long-term care insurance.
And just having a, medical directive, a will, all of those things.
We just did all that last year.
Yeah, and When Scott and I did our medical directive when we were getting married, we both filled it out and then we handed it to one another. And it asks you all of those questions like, so you've been in a persistent vegetative state and there's almost no chance that you will gain any mental capacity back. So what do you want to have happen? And of course, I'm just like, oh yeah, unplug me. And Scott's like, well, he didn't say there was no chance. He just said we just had very different views of like end of life stuff. But over the last, 10, 15 years, we're much more aligned now.
Well, and you can have, like, Che's thing is like, if I'm in a vegetative state, keep me there for a year and a day. And if nothing has changed, then you can do it. But yeah, I'll put in on this subject, for those of us at this age, long-term care insurance is something I never knew about. And that's what pays for assisted living. It's nothing else. And if you don't have it, 60 is not too late to start doing that. Mm-hmm. And also, if you own property, to get a trust. Because if you die, it's a nightmare. Because my husband's dealing with his mom who passed away 4 years ago. She didn't have anything in a trust, and he's still dealing with it 4 years later.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even if you don't, because I learned that, like, just having a will doesn't make everything go smoothly.
Right.
To do a trust.
So you need to go back and look at our previous episodes when we discussed this.
There we go.
Obviously, you missed that one, so we'll expect a report on it after you've watched it.
I was watching the Jeff and Cece one this morning.
Okay. So, guys, let's bring this back around again. So, Gary, any more questions do you have?
Well,
Yoda.
We call one segment.
Any questions more you have?
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah, right.
And the quick answer is, or the quick comment is that when we were younger, maybe we'd kind of let things slide, like, yeah, whatever they said, whatever they did, I'm just not going to let it bother me. But as you get older, it's like, you know what, like in my case, I would tend to speak up more now than when I was younger. If I would right someone's wrong, but when I was younger, I'm like, just let it go, just don't worry about it. So the ain't nobody got time for that. What do you not have any more time for? Whether it's you don't have the patience to put up with people, or you just don't let people slide on things. Is there anything that you ain't got time for?
I'm kind of the opposite of what you just described.
You have more time?
Yeah. Oh, you're a saint.
No, I just feel like the world's on fire, and I'm not going to bug people about like what's on their wall. I go out on walks with the dog and I get deep into the woods and I let them off the leash. And 99 times out of 100, everyone you encounter if you encounter anyone, is going to be delighted because they're sweet dogs. And then there's that one person that flips out. And, they're right. The dog should be on a leash, so I put them on a leash. But what tends to happen with me is I get overwrought when somebody gets in my face. And so I no longer have time for holding on to that nonsense. Yeah. I grew up in a family where we didn't talk our issues out. You just pushed them down. And so I'm better at talking things out, and I'm also just better at like, that's driving me nuts, I need to let it go. And meditation is great for that. Yeah, I get to choose how I respond to things, but that doesn't really answer your question of I ain't got time.
Well, you said
for
you
that.
didn't have a problem with anything, right? Nothing bothers you.
Oh no, things still bother me. No, I just think I cope better, and it's better for me from a mental health perspective to not get all wrapped up in stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I get that. You did
Mine's
answer
more
my
on
question. Thank you.
a shallower level, whereas with books I'm reading or music I'm listening to or movies I'm watching, if I'm not really into it, like in the past I'd be like, well, I started it, so I'll finish this movie, this book, this album or whatever. And I'm like, you know what? If I knew I just had like another week left, would I want to keep watching this movie or go do something else? So I give things on streaming like 10, 15 minutes. And I'm like, nope.
Kevin, can I
offer
offer
be like,
a
oh,
build?
but it's so good. Yes, do it.
Yes, I have a better response to your question, and that is I leave the theater at intermission a lot.
I have trouble with this, like live theater.
Yeah, live
I leave
theater.
movies a lot.
A number of sort of the touring companies of shows, I leave at intermission. And it's not because they're the touring company, it's because I just don't like them. And I'm not going to stick around for another hour. So 90 minutes, no intermission, that's my idea of great theater.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to see his local production of Xanadu tonight, which I'm hoping
Of course.
that I don't walk out of.
I thoroughly enjoyed Xanadu.
I
the
saw it on
production I
Broadway
saw.
like 3 times and was obsessed, so I have high expectations.
Okay. Okay, guys, so here's the last question. Who would play you on television or in the movies?
I saw this question and
I
I've
Well-
always highlight it.
I want it to be Kenneth Branagh, but I
Okay.
think it's probably going to end up being John Lithgow. Because I
Okay.
often get told, you look like John Lithgow, but I'd really like it to be Kenneth Branagh.
Okay,
I could see,
we'll go with that.
or if
I like
the two of them had a baby,
For sure.
that would be.
Right?
I mean, it's a hypothetical, so why not? We'll do some gene splicing and off we go.
There you go. And
I
Kevin,
have-
I highlighted this and sent
I
it to
know.
you a few days ago, gentlemen. You had much
And I
time
was
to think
stumped.
about this.
I think in the past someone said Roddy McDowell,
Okay, interesting.
and not because of his. I think we've lost Joe to it.
No, I'm thinking, I was
Someone slapped Joe in the head.
No, I was thinking about Roddy McDowell, and that kind of works. I mean, he's got your build. He's kind of brainy and, and by all accounts, a wonderful human being.
And
Okay.
and it's not because of the other rumor about Roddy McDowell.
Yeah, there's that.
Which is what?
He's
He's
very
well endowed.
endowed.
Oh, well, this is a family show, gentlemen.
But I'm saying not because of not
Oh, okay.
or not solely.
When you say he's well endowed, does that mean he's rich? You have money?
Yes.
Okay.
People have donated
Endowment?
like
No.
an endowment.
Okay.
How about, I always want to say Cillian, but I think he pronounces it Killian.
Cillian Murphy.
Cillian Murphy.
Killian Murphy.
Killian Murphy.
He always looks a little freaky to me, like he's from another, like he's part alien or something.
Okay.
So he always I'm always like a little off put by him. But I see where you're going.
Okay. Well, when we have you back, I'm going to give you more time to study that one. So here's the lightning round.
Oh my
Ready?
goodness. There's
Are there- is it a
lightning
quiz?
round. Wow.
Yeah, no, it's a lightning round. You just have to answer, okay?
Oh.
Both of you, when you at the same time. Red wine, white wine, champagne, beer, or nothing.
Red one.
White wine. The sweeter
Okay.
the better.
Got it. Movie, comedy, horror, or romance?
Horror.
Horror.
Okay.
Really?
Friends, friends.
Oh, Will and
Will and Grace.
Okay, good. Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
We have dogs, but I love cats.
Okay,
Dogs.
you can't answer that way.
Eh.
Sweet snacks or savory snacks? Oh, God,
Sweet.
Stump the panel.
Sweet.
Sweet.
Okay.
I'll say
Sweet.
I think
I
I'm
like
more drawn to
chocolates.
savory.
It's called the lightning round.
This is lightning.
City
at
life
60.
or small town?
City life.
City life.
Okay. Sushi or tacos?
Tacos.
That's a good one.
Cook or do the dishes?
Cook.
Dishes?
Okay. These are very simple questions. Don't think about them. Pineapple on pizza or yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. Kids or pets?
Pets.
Well,
See, I knew it. I knew it.
well, how do you respond to that?
Well,
Pets.
you can say both.
Pets. Pets.
Okay. Okay. Housewives or Survivor?
Survivor.
Neither.
Never watched The Housewives.
Okay. Okay. Time
Don't do-
travel.
don't
20
do it.
years in the past or 20 years in the future?
Oh, which
Wait,
20 years in the past isn't far enough.
like
I'll go.
Oh my
our
you
current
guys.
self.
I'll go to the future. I'll go to the future.
What do you say? Like our current self gets to go back, or our
20 years
current?
back or 20 years
As you are.
into the
As you are
future?
now.
So I'm not 80. I'm 60. 20 years in the future. Is that correct?
You can be 60 in either direction.
I go to the future to
Really
see if we
think the
survive this era.
Okay.
I don't
right,
know.
last.
That's a hard one. I'm sorry.
You're still thinking.
I'm flummoxed. That's a good one.
It's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Last question.
You keep saying
Gary
that.
or Dawn?
I'm going to go with dairy.
I'll go with gone.
Okay.
Dairy gone. Era gone.
A lot of
Okay,
Sue
guys,
Martin.
Yeah, so we want to thank our guests Joanne Pflug and Fannie Flagg for joining us today. Guys, it was really a pleasure speaking with you.
Hilarious.
I'm very excited to hear what you guys are doing now and what has happened and transpired and what you have created for yourselves now. It seems like life is pretty good for you guys.
Yeah.
Wait, are there two quick lightning round question for the two of you, Gary and Don? Are you retired or still working?
Gary?
I'm still working. I'll be 63 next month, so I'm targeting age 67, so 4 more years.
And I'm 38, so I'm going to wait a few years until I get my pension. But no, I've definitely been contemplating it in the last couple of years. Quickly, back to your other point, we've just finished our trust, our wills, all of the directives, all those things we spoke about, which are so important to make sure that we can actually make a very good, educated decision about this. So I'm looking the next couple of years.
So the youngest person here is the only one who's retired.
Basically.
But he sounds like he's got a pretty full schedule. So
Yes.
you can use that term retirement, but
Right. Retired from
because
9 to 5.
Well, I'm not
Yes.
super busy. As you'll recall, when we tried to schedule this stuff, you said, "Can you give us some dates times?" And I'm like,
Bitches didn't have any time. Nothing. You were so busy, both of you.
I'm
I
on
think the
summer
busiest
vacation a
person
little
should
bit.
say what's available because I can make anything work.
That's what she said.
Yeah. You're busy knitting during your triathlon at your book club. Like, I have no idea how you have any time.
Directing Gilbert and Sullivan.
Yes, and you're teaching classes and doing musicals and going out to Broadway shows all the time. So neither one of you has any time. Don't hide behind that scarf, Joe Andrews. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
it
you,
was
thank
a pleasure
you.
speaking with you.
It was
Can't wait to
great.
share a lot of
Had a lovely
Yes.
time. Thank you, guys.
Yes.
It's wonderful
I
to
will
see
edit
you.
you down. I will
Good
edit
to
you
see
both
you
down to
both.
5 minutes. So this podcast will only be 3.5 minutes long.
And it'll just be the two of you.
Yes, it will. It's like, sorry, our guest couldn't show up today. Sorry.
It'll just be clips of us going,
So, thank you again for joining us, Gary. I'm sure you feel the same.
I do. Thank you
you
so
both
much.
look
It was a lot of
wonderful.
fun.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
It's just
you know,
a real
I've
treat.
got to feel.
Gary, I feel the last time I saw you in person, you were still working at, was it Macy's at Hillsdale?
Well, the job I have now, no longer at Macy's, I've only been working for my boss for 37 years.
Oh my goodness! What are
I
you
saw you-
doing?
I'm an admin assistant.
Excellent.
I'm a Kevin.
Yeah, so yeah.
Yeah, and I work from home now because we decided we don't need to keep
Fully
keep an office. So
remote.
I work from home. Yeah. So I'm in my office and my dining room all at once.
There we go.
Okay, so I'm going to press the stop button. Do not go away yet because I want this to finish. So I'm
Okay.
going to hit the stop button. So thanks again, guys. And we're back.
Well, that was a lot of fun. Oh my God,
Yes.
it was so good to see them.
They're funny. They're very funny guys. I think they actually are in touch with each other off this, obviously.
Sure,
but
sure.
They're very funny.
I don't remember the last time I saw them in person.
No.
I mean, for Joe,
Well-
it could be high school. For Kevin,
Maybe so. And
maybe
but he lives in Milwaukee, so
I'm Minneapolis.
that's right.
It's the other M.
Thanks, Mary.
So any closing remarks? Or are we ready to shut it down?
No, I think that maybe we need to ask ourselves some of these questions next time about who would play us in a movie and who
Oh
would.
Lord, I got to think about that one.
Okay, anyway, why don't you shut us down?
Well, I will close this out. I don't want to shut us down because we still have more episodes to go. All right. Well, then, if we're ready to shut it down, close it out, whatever. On behalf of Don and Gary doing 60, I'm Gary. I want to thank you for joining us on another episode. We have some in the can, as they say. And we have, for sure, 2 more guests lined up that we haven't recorded yet. So we're very excited about that. So we will continue to bring you more guests. If you are interested in joining us, or if you know of someone, or maybe a topic that you want us to talk about, you can reach out to us through various platforms, through our website, which you can find on Podpage. And is this where I do the point? Podpage.
Yes. No, you have to do it here.
Oh,
1, 2, 3. Pod page.
Podpage.
We'll go with that.
All right, whatever.
We'll practice.
So that's our website, and through that you can reach any of our platforms, which for the visual part where you get all of this, it's YouTube, and that's through Pfeiffer Pod Productions, right? And then if you just want to listen to us as you drive from work or drive the kids around, you can
Drive
listen to us-
yourself crazy.
drive yourself crazy. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and your favorite other platforms. If you want to reach, and of course, social media, we're on Instagram and Facebook. You want to send us a message, that's Dawn and Gary doin60@gmail.com. We're also on Blue Sky. I mean, we're everywhere. Where aren't we?
Where exactly? Where are we not?
Right? So come back and check out this as often as
This.
possible. And when you check us out on those platforms, be sure to like, subscribe, leave us a message via the pod page. You can leave a voicemail message, write a review. Can they add photos or anything? Do you know that?
You can actually contribute to the blog if you'd like to.
Okay.
And I think, I'm not sure, that's a good question. I will share some of the voicemails we've gotten now because I want everyone to start doing it.
Right. And there's pressure, but there's no pressure. But we'd love for you to send us a message, leave a voicemail message, email us, whatever you wish. So with that said, I think we're done.
Okay. You have a great weekend, Gary. Thank you.
You too. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.